What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with another review for the Traitors on Peacock, you guys. This is season 3, episode 6. I think the episode was titled A Dysfunctional Family, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking on this date and have me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and get into this episode of the Traitors, shall we? Okay, you guys. So before we even do get into it, I really want to have a discussion about this season right now. Um, mm, I don't know what show these people are playing. Like, I don't know what game these people are playing because, my God, today the gameplay from the Traitors and the gameplay from the Faithfuls, atrocious. Like, oh my God. Like nobody's making in my personal opinion, nobody's making smart moves, and that goes for the Traitors and the Faithfuls. It's like the blind leading the blind, the three blind mice. Like it is the literally the blind leading the blind. So if you guys watched the episode, tell me what you guys thought about it in the comment section or in the live chat. But this episode opens with us in the turret, right? So, the Traitors are in the turret, and Carolyn, aka Tattoo Kim. Now, you guys, the reason why I call her Tattoo Kim, because I know somebody came in the comments last, and I don't think you meant anything negative by it, but it was like Tattooed. You said Tattooed Carolyn. Yeah, I know her name is Carolyn, but I mean, looking at her, she does put you in the mind of Kim Zolciak from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, formerly from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So Carolyn called out Danielle, right? And Danielle's whole reason for her saying that she threw Carolyn under the bus was because Carolyn didn't tell her about Jeremy. And I was like, huh? Huh? I had the same look Carolyn had on her face, like, girl, what? That doesn't make any sense, but okay. So Carolyn told her at this point, because she don't feel like she's safe with either one of them, she's like, honestly, the only people that I want out of this game is you two, Boston Rob and Danielle. So they make a pact that they're gonna still work together, and Danielle was like, she's gonna smooth things over the next day. So I'm assuming Danielle is saying, I'm gonna talk to everybody, and I'm just gonna try to get them to come, get off of your back, so to speak, right? So they throw out the names that they want for murder, right? The names that they threw out, and it's really mostly Boston Rob, and I have something that I'm going to say in just a minute. So Boston Rob, he's throwing out Wes's name and he's throwing out Bob Harper's name, and I was like, but that puts more of a target on your back, you dumb fool. Wes is onto you. Bob Harper called you out at the round table. So any logical thinking person would be like, okay, if Boston Rob gets called out by Wes and gets called out by Bob Harper, and they don't come to breakfast the next morning, then the logical thought would be Boston Rob is a traitor, and Boston Rob took them out to cover his tracks. And so I think it was Danielle who suggested Ivar, right? To take Ivar out. And I was like, okay. And the reason, and Boston Rob is talking about the reason for taking, yeah, that's a good idea. Taking Ivar out is because everybody thinks that he's a faithful, so no one's ever going to banish him. And I was like, huh? I was like, run that by me again. So you want to take him out because no one thinks that he is a traitor? Wouldn't that be more of a blanket and a shield to keep him around, since no one thinks he's a traitor, people would probably listen to him more and his logic about who he would think would be a traitor. Wouldn't that be an asset to you? You get good, you get in, you're in good with him. Like, wouldn't that be more of an asset to you to keep him around? I was just confused by that, but whatever, right? So they make their decision, and they have Carolyn sign the letter to the faithful that they're murdering, right? So we get to breakfast the next morning. So everyone shows up to breakfast with the exception of Bob Harper. And I was like, why did y'all go with Bob Harper? Like, can somebody please make me understand why they went with Bob? Like, I'm just, I'm befuddled by that. I'm confused. And so this is what I was going to say earlier. Like, I hate the fact that the girls, the ladies, the women, with whatever you want to say, right? They're allowing Boston Rob to run this game and do whatever he wants to do. And the moves that are being made, honestly, if these people would stop thinking, using, if these people would use logic instead of emotion and act on instead of acting on emotions, they would actually put two and two together that, hey, Boston Rob is a traitor. He's just trying to throw us off of his scent. Like, if you just look at all the facts, like, the facts matter in this particular point. Like, the facts matter. And this is why I say that I feel like they should have a punishment each time that they banish a faithful. I really do, right? But the facts matter. The first traitor y'all only got one traitor because of Boston Rob. And how do y'all like think logically? How did you get that traitor out? Because he knew that Boston Rob knew that Bob the drag queen was a traitor. Like, my God, today, my God, today, my God, today. But it is what it is. It is what it is, and I'm just so confused by this whole situation, honestly, because it does like none of this shit makes any sense to me. Their thought process is nothing. So, and honestly, I honestly feel like when it comes down to Bob the drag queen and Boston Rob, because Bob the drag queen never 100% said Boston Rob's name. He mentioned the three new guys. That was all he said. But that was all Boston Rob needed, because Boston Rob, although I don't watch Survivor, but just looking at how he operates on this show, Boston Rob is someone who likes to be in control and likes to have things go his way. And he knew that as long as Bob the drag queen was in the game, that he wasn't going to be the head dog in charge. It was more so him. I think it was somebody later. I think it was either Sierra or somebody said it later in the episode. It was him putting his dick on the table. That's exactly what it was. It was him putting his dick on the table and showing that his dick is bigger. Now, I'm saying metaphor. This is all metaphorically. I don't know how big he or Bob the drag queen is, but these are all this is metaphorically speaking, right? So then we see Tom Sandoval. Sandoval, I'm so confused by you. You're telling Brittany that you think that Dolores is a traitor, and I was like, Tom, what's the logic behind Dolores? So you went from Trishelle to Dolores. What's the logic behind either one of those two? What logic do you have that like Dolores? Dolores, you think that Dolores is a traitor? Tom, go back to sleep. Brittany is telling Tom that Dolores is not a traitor, right? So then we see Boston Rob. So he's talking to Dolores and Ivar. And at this point, Boston Rob is floating around Wes's name. I was like, if these people do not see through this bullshit, they're dumb. I was like, if we get to the round table and these people all say Wes's name and Wes gets up at the circle of truth and says he's a faithful, then this right here should be a clue to you guys that Boston Rob is a traitor. Like, if that happens, we're gonna keep pushing, right? So Derek, however, wants to work with Wes to go after Boston Rob. Now, Wes, however, he's a little bit leery, apprehensive about doing so right now. And for me, I didn't understand why Wes was not wanting to go after Boston Rob when you are the one that kind of did lead the charge previously about going after Boston Rob. So I was a little confused by that. That had me confused. I don't know if Wes didn't think he had the numbers or something. Like that's why I was so confused about it. I was like, I don't know if Wes doesn't think he has the numbers to go after Boston Rob. Hey, hey, Kira, how are you doing today on this good Sunday? Yes, you finally caught alive. Do you watch the Traitors? I don't know if you watch Traitors, but if you do, let me know in the comments in the live chat. But yeah, I mean, with Wes, I don't know if Wes didn't think he had the numbers to go after Boston Rob. That's the only thing that I can come up with why he was so nervous about that with Derek. Now, I will say this: if you guys, I've said it in previous videos, when it comes to Derek, oh God, I cannot stand Derek. I am not a fan of Derek, never have been, never will been, because the same way with Boston Rob, that he wants to be in charge and be the head guy, that is the same person that Derek is. That is the exact same person that Derek is. Honestly, I want them to. As stupid of a move, it would be a dumb move for Boston Rob to murder Derek, right? Because that would put a bigger target on his back. But you know, we'll get to that. We'll get to it a little later once we get to the round table. Oh, you do watch it, okay? Did you watch this episode? Let me know. What do you think about this episode? And this I don't know what this gameplay is. Like, I'm really trying to figure out the gameplay. like, so I'm really trying to figure out the gameplay. Now, Tattooed Kim, girl, you put 20 on 10, and I want you say you're at the round table in your interview. You were saying that you're quirky. No, ma'am, you're not quirky. You're fidgety, like you're on drugs. I'm not, and let me preface this by saying I am not saying that lady's on. I'm not saying or suggesting that lady is on drugs. I'm just saying that that's how fidgety she is, because she is very fidgety to me. So we see Brittany and Tattooed Kim talking, right? So they're talking about the fact that Tattooed Kim's name has been floating around about the fact that she wanted to take Brittany out, and she says that that's not true, right? I was like, well, technically, it is true, Carolyn. You did mention Brittany's name, not in the sense that it's being presented to Brittany, but you did mention Brittany's name to in the turret at one point to take out Brittany. So it's semantics, right? So Tattooed Kim figured out that it was Danielle, and she is pissed. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let Tattooed Kim have it, right? So we get to the challenge, and this challenge, they were split into different teams, right? It was three groups of teams, and so they have to get gunpowder to basically blow up a huge traitor statue. But and if they blow it up, the team will bank $30,000, right? But there are three shields out there that they basically will be fighting over, and three shields are among the teams, right? So everybody, I was like, are they gonna get any money in this episode? Because I was literally thinking that they were not gonna get any money because everybody wanted a shield in this episode. And I was like, some of y'all don't need shields, but some of y'all, and I will say the people who got the shields in this episode, it was stupid. It was dumb because it was a waste of a shield. Especially one of them in particular was definitely a waste of a shield. And we'll get to it in just a minute. Kira says this episode pissed me off. This is the worst group of traitors, and the ending was BS. Yeah, I was pissed off at the ending, but I felt the person who was banished, I felt exactly what that person said. Fuck all y'all. That's exactly what I was feeling, because we'll get to it in just a minute. So Tattoo Kim was the first one to get a shield on her team. I said, say what now? Man, why did you go for the shield? Why did you go for but you know what? Okay, she got the shield. I think she took it from Tom Sandoval, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, she did. But then I was thinking to myself, Tom, why do you need the shield? Sir, nobody is even thinking about you. You're an afterthought. Like Sandoval is a complete afterthought. So then on the other team, I can't remember who was on what team, but I know on one other team, it was a game of rock, paper, scissors about who would get it. And Dylan got the shield. I was like, Dylan, you don't need the shield either. Then on another team, it came down to Trishelle and to Derek. And Trishelle got the shield. I was like, oh my God, Trishelle, you don't need the shield. The three people who got the shields in these episodes, I was like, y'all are not on anybody's radar because quiet as it's kept. So, Dylan, you got out the traitor that would have been coming after you. Bob the drag queen. Trishelle. And the only way I can see Trishelle going for a shield is if she still thinks that Tom Sandoval is a traitor. Which, if he's a traitor, he's a terrible traitor, just like he's a terrible faithful. But neither here nor there, right? So it's coming down to the wire, and they still ain't got no gunpowder to knock down the statue to get the $30,000. And they had, I think, at that point, like 15 minutes left on the clock. I was like, are they gonna get the $30,000? But ultimately, the team was able to bank $30,000. I think they have over $100,000 in the team prize money. So congratulations to them for that. Now, y'all, this is where the episode goes to hell in a handbasket. This is where the episode goes to hell in a handbasket. Kira says no strategy at all in the challenge with the shields. It wasn't any strategy. Carolyn is a traitor. So here's the thing. I kind of get Carolyn taking the shield because her taking the shield is her saying, you know what, I feel like the traitors are going to come after me, quote unquote. I'm using air quotes. Carolyn's makes a little bit of sense, but Trishelle and Dylan, it didn't make any sense to me because you two are not on anybody's radar. So I didn't understand that. That was a waste of a shield. Now, what I will say is they're not telling who has the shields, but I was like, it still doesn't matter because I I don't think that Boston Rob, and the thing is, y'all are not saying who has a shield, but y'all don't know who a traitor is. So a traitor could be on your team and still know who has the shield. Like there was literally no strategy with that. But okay, I mean, I guess if that's what they want to do, right? So they get back to the castle, right? So Wes went to tell Dolores that Tom is floating her name out there as a traitor, and Dolores was pissed. So Dolores said that she wants to talk about it at the round table. And I was like, why, Dolores? Why? We all know that I mean, I think anybody with eyes, with a brain, you know what, the brains must be sleep, retired, low on gas, low on energy, because the brains ain't working with this cast right here. And that goes for the faithfuls and for the traitors. Like nobody's brains are literally working. Like I said earlier, it's a game of emotions this season, and I'm realizing that. And we'll talk about it once we get to the round table, right? Now, as much as I don't like Derek, can't stand Derek, he's spot on when it comes to Boston Rob. Now, what I will say is I do want Derek gone before Boston Rob. I know that might sound crazy that I want a faithful gone before the traitor. I want Boston Rob. I do want Boston Rob gone. I honestly do. But I want Derek to go before Boston Rob. So I'm hoping for next week's episode it goes the way that I want it to go. But yeah, I want Boston Rob after Derek. Kira says that all a very dense cast. Yeah, they're dense. And here's the thing, I know like the Big Brother players, I know them. They're very great players. Danielle is a great player on Big Brother. Brittany is not really a great player. Brittany is really good when it comes to interviews because she's funny, But as a game player, Brittany's not that great of a player because Brittany's been played twice on Big Brother. Oh, the first time Brittany got played, I really felt bad for her because she thought she was gonna make it to the end of Big Brother, and she got played by it was Hayden, and it was Enzo. Oh, you say why, Derek? I can't stand him. I can't. I detest Derek. I loathed Derek. I cannot stand Derek because what happened at the round table is how Derek plays Big Brother. He wants Derek is some. So here's the thing with Derek. Derek is a cop, and Derek wants things to go his way, right? He wants everybody to fall in line with what he says, and if you don't fall in line with what he says, then you're a target for him. Because it happened on Big Brother. Derek is the reason why Big Brother has been played the same way for the last few years, where people vote with the majority. Because Derek's season, he won by a majority because everybody in the game literally voted every week. It was unanimous votes every week the entire season, and that's not a fun game of Big Brother. That season was one of the worst seasons I've ever watched in my life. So that's why I when it comes to Derek, I will never ever see it for him, ever. Mm-mm. That's why I want Derek on first. Like I will never see it for Derek, never in life. And Derek played Big Brother almost 10 years ago. I think it was 2016. Yeah, I've never saw it for Derek. Brent Thompson, how are you doing today? You said Derek said someone is guilty if they swear a lot. I feel his cases need to be reviewed. They probably should be. They probably should be. Here says, oh, okay, yeah. Derek is just not somebody that I'm fond of ever. From a because I'm a huge Big Brother fan, and the thing is, people try to equate Derek as a Big Brother great, but he's not a great because he didn't play with good people. He played with dumbass people his season. So, like I said, but I know a lot of these people. I know them from like the reality, the competition people. I know them with the exception of the Survivor people. I don't know them, and I don't understand what these people are doing. Like the logic doesn't make sense, right? So Brittany and Trishelle pissed me off in this episode. Brittany and Trishelle both pissed me off because, granted, I do not like Derek, but Derek was spot on when it came. Derek was spot on because it's easy to pinpoint that Boston Rob is a traitor. It's very easy to pinpoint. The context clues are there for you to see it. He called out Bob the drag queen. How else would a traitor, how else would somebody be 100% certain that someone is a traitor if they're not a traitor themselves? That's number one. Number two, he took out Bob Harper, who literally called out his gameplay move the night before, and y'all still don't think that this man is a traitor. What the fuck? Please make me understand. Please give me any reason why that makes no sense to them. Derek painted it out perfectly for them. But Trishelle and Brittany, as much as I love Brittany, Brittany pissed me off. I was like, Brittany, get the fuck away from me with this dumb shit. You think Wes is a traitor. And when I give y'all the logic for them thinking Wes is a traitor, I was like, you guys must have never watched any episode of The Challenge because that is exactly how Wes plays the game. But we'll get to it in just a minute, right? So we get to the round table. This is the Derek that when I say I can't stand Derek, this is the Derek that I don't like. The Derek that wants to take control. Because Tom Sandoval was talking, because Dolores called Tom Sandoval out about him saying she's a traitor. Tom was trying to explain why he feels Dolores is a traitor, but Derek's big mouth ass decided to hop in and say, "Are you done?" Well, we're done. We're gonna move on. I want to say, excuse you, you snout nosed pig, bitch. Excuse you. Oh yeah, when I tell you guys I don't like Derek, I don't like Derek. For years I've always called him a snout nosed pig. I've always called him a pig because he looks like a pig in the fucking face to me. So yeah, if you feel a way about if anybody likes Derek, which I hope nobody does. But if you do, it is what it is. I don't see it for the the, the piggy bastard ever. Don't see it for him, right? So Derek decides to go. Derek paints the picture for them. Like in the famous words of Sherlock Holmes, it's elementary, my dear Watson. Like, how are y'all missing this? Oh my God. Like this round table pissed me off. This round table, when I tell you guys this round table pissed me off, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? So Derek painted the picture of why Boston Rob is a traitor. Boston Rob then comes in and flips it and says he believes that Wes is a traitor. I was like, if you guys are too stupid to see that he's deflecting and placing blame on somebody else, if Boston Rob makes it to the end of the game and wins the money, shame on you guys. Like, shame on y'all if that happens. For real, for real. Shame on these faithfuls if that happens, right? So then Carolyn calls out Danielle. Now, I wasn't really pissed about Carolyn calling out Danielle, but I was like, Carolyn, why are we doing this at the round table? I was just like, and then she started putting on them tears. I was like, oh my God. And that's when I was like, this is a game full of emotions. I was like, y'all are taking this too personally. It's a game. It's a game. Granted, I get that Carolyn feels the way that Danielle called her out, right? So then we get to the vote. Not Danielle. Carolyn voted for Danielle. I was like, okay. So there was one vote for Danielle. Then at one point it was 5 votes for West, not 5 votes for the West. It was 5 votes for Boston Rob, and then at one point it got to be 5, 6, 7 votes for West. I said, I know this is a joke, right? This is a joke, right? This is a joke. This is. I was waiting for Ashton Kutcher to come out and say, "Punk, y'all been punked." I was like, "Why did y'all?" And then, so the logic for them saying that they think that West is a traitor is because of how aggressive West is playing. I said, "Oh my God." Have you, again, I'm gonna ask the question, how many of them ever watched the challenge? That is literally how Wes plays the challenge. And Wes even said it. If I'm a traitor, then I'm a terrible faithful coming in and playing as aggressive as I have. But he did say that, which he said something, and I was like, y'all are still not catching what he's saying to you guys. Because he said that if I stay, the people who vote for me, I'm coming after you. I was like, y'all do realize he's not saying he's coming after you as far as murdering you, right? I was like, y'all do realize that the man is saying if he stays in the game, he's going to now come after you to believe that you guys are traitors, because he feels like maybe some of you are throwing him under the bus to deflect from you guys being traitors. I was like, oh my God. Did not now person catch that? And they're like, oh, you just threatened us. I was like, I would have said the same. I would have said the same thing. I probably would have worded it differently, because I would have been like, okay, so if you vote for me as a traitor, that's going to raise my suspicion that maybe you're a traitor, because I know for a fact that I'm a faithful, and if you're coming for me, then that leads me to believe one of you guys could definitely be a traitor among the sea of dumbass faithfuls. Because this is a sea of dumbass. When I say a sea of dumbass faithfuls, I mean a sea of dumbass faithfuls, because I am so confused. None of this shit makes sense to me. I don't know what these people are playing. So ultimately, they banished West. I was like, y'all really had it in the bag to banish Boston Rob. Y'all had it in the bag to banish Boston Rob, and y'all soiled that opportunity, and y'all would have got another traitor out of the game. And I was like, okay. So Wes has gone. Derek. The only reason why, and here's the thing, like Brent said, let's review some of Derek's old cases. The only reason why Derek is able to guess Boston Rob is because it's obvious. At this point, it's obvious. Even Stevie Wonder can see this. Ray Charles can see through this bullshit that Boston Rob is a traitor. Like, do I have to spell it out again for the people? Boston Rob led the charge against Bob the drag queen because what he knew Bob was a traitor. Boston Rob also murdered Bob Harper, who the night before at the round table called his gameplay out. And the next morning, Bob Harper is murdered, and y'all fools still keep him in the game. How dumb is that? How dumb can you be? My God, my God, my God. Womp womp. Shaking my head. I agree, Kira. Like, what the fuck? So we get to the jury. Now, what I will say about Carolyn, girl, I'm so glad that you finally used your voice and spoke up, talking about maybe we should go after Danielle. I said, I know you fucking lying, but it was hilarious to me. It was hilarious to me. So we'll see what happens in next week's episode. So next week's episode, the faithful, not the whoever they murder, they're gonna have to do it and reveal themselves to that person. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. I also know that they do have. I think they have like a. I don't know if it's like a. It's not an after show, but I do know that they show like the people who were murdered and the people who were banished. They do tell them at the like I've saw on Twitter where they'll tell them who the traitors were, and most of them are shocked to find out that Carolyn is a traitor. Every one of them is. Well, Robin was shocked to find out that Danielle was a traitor too. I was like, how Robin? Again, I love Danielle, but the way that Danielle is playing, it should be obvious to most of y'all that she's a traitor, but it ain't. But I'm just still pissed off at y'all when it comes to Boston. When it comes to Boston Rob, like, baby, that's the one that I just don't understand. Like, I just don't understand the Boston Rob part. That's the one that's just got me all discombobulated and shit because say what now? How are y'all not getting Boston Rob? That is evident and easy. Um, hey, recap kickback. You say the only one I remember not being shocked Danielle was as a traitor. Well, the only one that you remember not being shocked Danielle was a traitor was Jeremy. Yeah, I think Jeremy is the only one because Jeremy picked up on Danielle, and it was again it was the over with Danielle. It was the overacting. I wish she had never done that overacting bullshit because she would have been fine. Now I'm still shocked that they don't pick up on Carolyn because I mean that woman is fidgety as hell. Kira says they fumbled that one, and the traders can't stand each other. They can't. They can't. But yeah, you guys, that's the episode this season. This season, you guys. I don't know how to feel about it because the faithfuls are dumb and the traders are just as, I guess, less than smart. I'm curious to see I'm really curious to see who they murder next week. I'm curious to see that. Like I'm curious to see who and I'm like I said, I have a problem with the fact that both Carolyn and Danielle are letting Boston Rob have his way. The last few murders have been because of Boston Rob and who he wanted to go after, and none of them made any logical sense to a logical thinking person. Um, recap kickback says nobody else got her clocked. I think the show is making it seem worse than it is because why was Jeremy the only one shocked? The math ain't mathing. It ain't. It ain't. Also, Danielle, what the fuck is this? Like these are those micro braids? Girl, you should have went with you should have got a wig or something because this looks like a bird's nest on your head. Oh, Nikki wasn't surprised. Nikki wasn't surprised either. Akira says one of the ladies picked up on Danielle too. I'm surprised she's hanging in there. Nikki wasn't surprised either. It was Nikki and Jeremy that weren't surprised. Now, when it comes to like people like Robin, I wouldn't expect nothing less from Robin. Chanel, I don't know what game Chanel was playing. Um, Now I didn't see Dorinda. I didn't see Dorinda, and I don't think I did see what's his name from what's the other guy's name from Survivor? The one that Boston Rob went against. I think he was. I don't think he was as shocked about Danielle. I think he was. I think a lot of them are more so shocked by Carolyn. I think most of them are more so shocked by Carolyn. And if the faithfuls really think about it, process of elimination would help them with this. Y'all got rid of West. Y'all thought West was a traitor. So if you would think about it, it would be smart of Allen to bring in the three new guys and make at least one, if not two of them, a traitor, right? So by process of elimination, you can either go with Derek or Boston Rob. Again, I don't know where their thought process is. Oh, I forgot to did I mention that Derek thinks that Brittany is a traitor? Derek, you're way off base with Brittany. You're way off base with Brittany. But yeah, that's it. Those braids, yikes, very much so, yikes. I'm looking at them braids and it's just like them braids. Hey, movie babe, you say you're asking them to do something they can't do. Think, laughing my ass off. Johnny, you think and thinking is free and easy to do. But I think these people left their brains at home because the logic, it's like, I don't know what the hell the logic is. Because nothing makes sense with these people. It's like 1 plus 1 equals, three to them, and 2 plus 2 equals five. Okay, we gonna let her have that. It's probably we gonna let her have that. Maybe it's humid out there. I doubt it. It's humid because I ain't they wearing They wearing jackets. It's cold. It's but it's humid. We gonna give Danielle it's humid. We're gonna let Danielle rock, but it's humid. Kira says, I thought she was close to being out of there when they heard her in the bookcase. Child, the bookcase. And Gabby had it. Gabby had it. And Gabby lost it. I said, oh, poor Gabby. Your elevator don't ding do it, huh? Your elevator don't ding. Okay, Gabby. Okay, Gabby. Yeah, we're gonna let her have that human though, even though it's cold and even though it's cold in London. Well, they're not wherever they. I know they're in the. I know they were in the UK, and they. Yeah, no, baby, it wasn't human because they filmed this early last year. They filmed this in the early part of last year after Potomac ended, so it was still in the winter months that they filmed this. So yeah, it was cold. I mean, we're gonna let her have something. We're gonna let her have his human. That's what we're gonna give Danielle. It was humid and it was rainy. That's why them braids look like that. Because my God, today them braids, I'm like, oh Danielle, please, please, for the love of God, do something different with these braids. Girl, pin them up, put them in a pony. Oh God, put them in a ponytail. Do something to them because they are frizzy. They get more frizzier each. It's like they get frizzier each episode. It's like, girl, did you put your hand in a like? Is this from static electricity? They don't. They don't. Now, what I will say, Danielle is on the reason. Now, Danielle is obvious right now. They don't. You say they don't keep track of clues this season. They don't. If I didn't say that, I meant to read it. Um, Boston Rob is. If we're being honest, Boston Rob is the one that is definitely an obvious person. Danielle is only obvious because of the overacting, right? That's the real reason why we say we can clock Danielle is because of how she's overacting, right? But when you sit down and think about it, what are the clues which you have to lead you to Danielle as a traitor? Because I mean, you could say, I mean, that could be said of anybody that okay, maybe they are maybe the overacting, but then after that, what else would you have? you would be sitting there looking like Tom Sandoval, and you would have to convince the rest of the group to come along with you on why Danielle is a traitor. I mean, you could possibly say she gave Dolores the shield, but she was the last one also into breakfast in this week's episode. So it's a lot of things that you would be like, hmm. It's a lot of things that will make you go, huh. So Danielle and Carolyn are kind of safe in a sense because everybody is throwing out each other's names. Everybody's kind of suspect. And it's because they're playing terribly. Because, I mean, remember the logic they have going after Nikki. It's because of a lie that was created by Boston Rob. So, I mean, Danielle and Carolyn can make it to the end. It's gonna it's gonna be harder for Danielle as it is. Well, no, it if these people keep playing the way that they playing, it wouldn't be hard. It would actually be quite easy. It would be quite easy. But I don't think that Danny if Danielle made it to the end, I don't think that Danielle would win because if they still do it like they did last season where they get to the fire and they have to throw it in there, if they want to keep playing and try to banish another faithful or banish another traitor, like what they did with MJ, I think Danielle wouldn't make it. I don't think she would win. Kira says Jim Jones syndrome. I agree. Because Danielle was also suspect last episode when she didn't try to save herself. Exactly. But like I said, Danielle could work that to her advantage and say, well, I was I was the last three to come into breakfast yesterday. So obviously I'm on the radar if I'm one of the last few to come in. I wonder how do they pick who goes into breakfast for who goes in. I wonder how they pick that. Kira says, I mean, Boss and Rob will go before Danielle, but she should be on the suspect board. She should be. She should be. She definitely should be. But then, if we put Danielle on the suspect board, then that's gonna put Carolyn on the suspect board too. Because if they banish Danielle and she reveals she's a traitor, then that lets it be known that Carolyn was a traitor as well. And then that would, because remember, Carolyn did mention Brittany's name, but she mentioned Brittany's name to murder her and not to banish her. But yeah, you guys, overall, the episode, if I would rank it for drama and chaos, I would give it an A. For gameplay and strategy, I would give it a solid F. I would give it an F for gameplay and strategy because I don't understand nobody. I still don't understand them sending Wes home. And like I said, I agree with Wes when Wes said, fuck all y'all. Fuck all y'all. Oh, yeah, that is right. That is right. The twist this season is when they get closer to the finale, people will stop revealing if they are a traitor or a faithful. And that's not, ooh, that is right. Alan did say that. Huh. I wonder when it's going to happen because how many people are left in the game? So we got Trishelle, we got Dolores, we got Sierra, who pissed me off in this episode. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. Child, I forget that Sam is still there. I forget that Sam. I'm looking at my screen, and bitch, I forgot that Sam is still there. I forgot that Sam is still in this damn castle. My God, I forgot about Sam. I forgot about Sam. Nobody thinks about Sam. Like nobody thinks about fucking Sam. Kira says, really? Yeah. I remember Alan did say that. I forgot that Alan did say that they are going to stop at some point. They are going to stop revealing if they are a faithful or a traitor. So they'll just be banishing people at that point, and they won't know who is who until they get to the end of the game. Kira says, I agree. movie basis. I wonder when that was my thing. I wonder when they're gonna do it. Maybe top 10 or top 8, maybe top 6. I don't know. I'm very curious to see. I don't think. Well, you know what? It might start after next week's episode because you guys, if you guys are on the trailer for next week's episode, the traitors are going to reveal themselves to whoever they murder. So whoever they murder next week, they're revealing themselves to that person. So that person will actually see the traitors in next week's episode. So very interesting. So we may start that at next week's roundtable, where they stop revealing if they're a traitor or faithful. But very interesting. But like I said, the gameplay just abysmal. Like I just don't know what they're playing. I don't know what they're doing. They had it in the bag to get rid of Boston Rob in this episode because I mean, like I said, Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles could even see this. The writings are on the wall that he's a traitor. But hey, they didn't go for it. We can move on, and that's it, you guys. That's all I got, you guys. Thank you guys for all joining me in the live chat and for watching the replay. Please, let me know what you guys thought. Leave your comments in the comment section, you guys, and I am going to catch you guys in the next one. So, you guys, at some point this week, I'm gonna finish up reviewing Wags to Riches, and I'm gonna get up episodes 3 and 4 of Harlem at some point this week. Also, I know I kind of wait. I was on one of my other YouTubers in pages, and she reviewed the show The Family Business on BT Plus. I said it was a potential that I would review it, baby. It's a hell no. It's a resounding hell to the no that I am not reviewing that show, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. I know me, and I know how I am when it comes to certain TV shows, and I'm not gonna review that show because one, the acting is, and these are seasoned actors, but the acting to me is given those fake soap operas on an insurance commercial, and then some of the wigs. I'm like, yeah, nope. I don't want to criticize. It's a black show. I don't want to criticize that stuff. When it comes to our black shows that I watch and stuff, I want to uplift them and I want to talk positively about them. I don't want to speak negatively about them. And this is Black History Month, and I definitely don't want to speak negatively about a black show. So as far as the family business, that's a no for me, you guys. But I know Kiwan J, she reviews it. If you guys watch that show, definitely go check her out. I don't know who else reviews it, but if I find anybody else who reviews the show, I will definitely send you guys to their channel. And yeah, no, family business just not for me, you guys. Sorry. I know that I was also I had some people who they would like to see me review it, but yeah, you guys, it's got to be a no. Plus, I already got a lot of stuff that I already have a lot of stuff on my plate. So it didn't fit in. It didn't fit in. So if y'all want scripted shows from me, it's gonna be Harlem. And then in next month, we will have Power Book 3, Raising Kanan is finally back. And I'm so excited for that to be back, you guys. If you guys know me, you guys know how I feel about Raising Kanan. I love that show. I love me some Rock, even though she is a terrible mother. But I love my girl Rock. Whew, love her down. Kira says, I'm just watching at this point because they are just walking around clueless, like mindless zombies. Kira says, yeah, the OG Family Business is better to me. I didn't even watch that one either. Kira says, EJ, the TV junkie, does solo recaps and a panel. Okay. So yeah, you guys, check out Keywan J and EJ, the TV junkie, for if you guys watch the Family Business, because JB ain't doing it. Child, it was on Instagram. It was a scene with Leela Rashawn's character and Brandon T. Jackson, I think that's his name. Baby, that scene that I saw, I said, oh, hell to the no. I would criticize this show. And I'm not about criticize. That's why I don't do Tyler Perry shows anymore, because I realized I was overly critical of his shows. and I just can't do that to myself. And I can't do it. I don't want to do that to black creators. I don't like doing that. So yeah. But yeah, you guys, I'll see you guys later on. What comes on tonight? Baddies come on tonight, as well as the season finale. Thank God for this. The season finale of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Praise Jesus. Praise him, praise him, praise him that the season is over. And Married to Medicine, you guys. So now you guys know that Married to Medicine and Baddies are going to be pre-recorded. Depending on how I feel about Real Housewives of Potomac, I may do a pre-recorded video as well as my live tomorrow, but we will definitely go live tomorrow for Potomac's finale. Hopefully it gives something. And we may discuss the reunion trailer tomorrow on my live as well. But yeah, you guys, that's all I got. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Oh, also, you guys, do me a big favor, because Kira is a content creator as well. And we are trying to get Kira's numbers up. So I'm going to leave her picture on the screen so you guys can definitely go subscribe to her channel. Kira, let me see where you're currently sitting at, Kira. Let me see where you're currently sitting at. You might type it in the chat before I even get to it. So Kira currently has 408 subscribers, you guys. She wants to get to 1,000. If we can help her get to that 1,000, every little bit helps you guys. So definitely go on over to her channel and subscribe to her channel, you guys. Watch her content. Now, Kira, I don't know what you review, because I know lately you've been doing a lot of panels. So, and I know you do your Saturday sip as well. Thank you so much for saying great recap, by the way. I know you do your Saturday sips, and I know you do your pajama Sundays. But I don't know what else. What else you because I think everything that you're mostly doing here lately are panels, right? Because I know you do a panel for that, which I've never watched that show, Found. But yeah. Oh, I know you did Young, Famous, and African, and you were doing Married to Medicine. So, you're most welcome. But yeah, you guys, definitely go subscribe to Kira's channel. And that's all I got, you guys. I ain't got nothing else for you. We done already gone almost an hour at this point, and I done drug these people to hell in a handbasket. But yeah, you guys, I'm gonna catch you guys later. Again, have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you guys later. As always, you guys, please stay safe out there. Definitely stay safe out there, because it's a crazy world out there. It's a crazy fucking world. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And Kira says she's I'm sick, so I'm okay. Well, I hope you definitely feel better. You say you're sick, so you're on the break, but Married to Medicine, Young, Famous, and African. Okay, well, get well soon. And yeah, you guys, I'm out. Until the next video. Bye, y'all.